Hello, my dear students of class 1. Welcome back to our English class. We have been doing a lot of interesting chapters, and today we are going to start a poem again that is called The Rainbow. Okay, I repeat, The Rainbow. That is chapter 10. You will find that in page number 22. Okay, as I've written the page number here, it's page number 22, and we are going to discuss about the beauty of the rainbow. We all have seen rainbows, right? And I'm sure when you see a rainbow in the sky, you admire it. And you might be wondering how it appears and how it disappears. That is a mystery to all of us, isn't it? But whenever you see rainbows, you would like to take photographs. Even if you don't have your own mobile phones, you might even ask your brothers and sisters and ask them to take photographs of rainbows because that is a very, very beautiful sight, something beautiful to see. Okay, that is a very beautiful sight for each and every one of us. And every one of you that are listening to me right now, I'm sure everyone there likes to watch a rainbow. And especially in the monsoon season, we get to see rainbows a lot of times. It appears after the rain when the sun shines. Okay, that is what we are going to discuss about. But it is not only rainbows, there are so many things that are associated with the beauty of the rainbow. We will see something here. I'm going to show you a lot of exciting pictures. I want you to stay focused. Okay, be focused in what I'm going to teach, and you will get to know more and more. I'm going to take you to some beautiful places, and I'm going to introduce so many beautiful things to you. Okay, you may be hearing about those things, but you never take it seriously, maybe. But today, we are going to make sure that we learn these things well. And after reading this poem, you will be able to recite the poem with correct punctuation and the rhythm. The way how you should read a poetry. Okay, the way you read a story and a poetry should be a little different. There will be rhyme schemes which you will learn in your higher classes. We will not be discussing about the rhyme scheme in this poem, but you are going to see how a poem should be read. Okay, and read the poem with appreciation. Appreciation means admiring and appreciating. But when it comes to English or any other language poetry, appreciation can also mean something else. When you go to your higher classes, you will read the rhyming scheme. There will be so many devices that a poet will use to write a poem, because we know that writing a story and writing a verse or a poem is different, and there are certain steps that a poet is a person who writes poetry, okay? If you do not know what is a poet, I want you to understand that a poet is a person who writes poems, okay? And in your lower classes, you sang the rhymes like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Stars. Those are all kinds of poems, okay? And they are not like stories. In reading a story, you get to know a story, but in poems, you may even get to know some other things like the rainbow. It is not going to be a story, but you are going to know what a rainbow actually is. And then you will even be able to answer simple questions. I've written here, so let's read again. Learning outcome means what you are going to get after reading the poem and after listening to this explanation, okay? You will be able to recite the poem with correct punctuation and rhythm, okay? Rhythm means the way that a poetry should be read out. And the next one would be to read the poem with appreciation. There are some devices that a poet uses to write a poem, so you will be able to know that. And the next one is you will be able to answer simple questions. You see that here, right? You will be able to answer simple questions. So these are the three main things. There are so many things associated with this, but the three main things that you are going to learn after reading the poem called The Rainbow, you will be able to get this. Let's read the poem together. Okay, I want all of you to repeat after me when I read it, okay? The rainbow. Boats sail on the rivers and ships sail on the seas, okay? Clouds sail across the sky are prettier far than this. There are bridges on the rivers. This is the first verse. We are going to repeat again because by now you will be having some idea on how to read it, right? Let's read again. See? The rainbow. Boats sail on the rivers and ships sail on the seas. But clouds sail across the sky are prettier far than this. There are bridges on the rivers. Let's get to the next verse. as pretty as you please, but the bow that bridges heaven and overtops the trees and builds a road from earth to sky is prettier far than this. In the first verse, we see some comparison, right, of nature and also man-made things. You know what are man-made things, right? Man-made things are the things that are made by man's own hands. The table that you use at home is a man-made thing, but a tree from which we get the wood to make the table, the tree is not made by man. It's by nature. It's by God. It's God's creation. And the poet here, the poet Christina Rossetti, is making a comparison of the beauty of nature and also of the beauty of man-made things. Let's read this verse once more. As pretty as you please, but the bow that bridges heaven and overtops the trees and builds a road from earth to sky is prettier far than this. Christina Rossetti. This is what the poet has written this poem so beautifully. Now you got a rough idea of what the poem is going to talk about, but unless your teacher explains it to you, I know it becomes difficult, right? It becomes difficult for you to understand. So I want to request you once again, if you are moving around, I want you to just stay silently, quietly. If you want to refer to your book, okay, fine, you can go to page number 22, or else you can just be looking at me because I'm going to write everything here that is important. I'm also going to show you pictures as I've told you, and by reading along with me, you are going to understand it as well as listening to my explanation is going to help you understand this poem better, okay? Yes, the first line says, boats sail on rivers. You know what is a boat, right? See, sometimes we find it difficult, especially when we are in class 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes we do not know the difference between a boat and a ship, right? Today, I'm going to show you the difference of a boat and a ship, okay? Boats are usually small boats like this. You make paper boats, especially at school or when you are on a vacation. When it rains, you want to make a paper boat and then let it float on the water or on the river and imagine that you are sailing a boat, isn't it? So now you know what exactly a boat is because you all have made, I'm sure all of you have made a boat with paper and tried to sail it on the water, or let's say we try to let it float on the water. You might just keep a bucket of water, you make your paper boats, and then you let it float there. That is called sailing, isn't it? So this is a picture of a boat. There are so many different kinds of boats, okay? It is not just this that I'm showing you. There can be varieties of boats. There will be some boats that you see in the parks, right? Have you ever been to a park? If you have been to a park which has water bodies, I'm sure you have seen boats, and you will see different kinds of boats that a fisherman will use. Even fishermen, we know that fishes are found in the water. I don't have to tell you that, isn't it? You will not be able to find fishes on dry land because if it's there, it will just be a dead fish. But for a fisherman to catch fish, they go for fishing with boats, and their boats will be of different types that will serve their purpose. And there will be some boats that will be able to carry people from one place to another. The boats that we see in the amusement parks are usually small boats that can carry only a few persons, and that is just to take them around for amusement ride, right? And so this is also one kind of boat, and then you see another kind of boat here, okay? And you can now, I want you all to picture a kind of boat that you would like to travel. Imagine you can travel from the other side of the river. Just picture as if you have a big river by your side and your friend lives on the other side of the river, and there is no bridge between the two of the houses. So what do? You have to sail through the boat. You have to row your boat. There will be oars, isn't it? There will be two wooden stick that will help you row your boat across the river. You also read a verse, row your boat, isn't it? So now you know what is the meaning of row. With the help of that stick, we can row our boat, okay? So I want you to picture your own boat, the kind of boat that you would like to travel. Because here in our place, we don't have much water bodies. And that's why to have a ship in our place is something unimaginable, but you can at least picture a boat that you can travel with your family, okay? Travel for 5 minutes. I'm not talking about the long journeys, okay? But you can row it and cross a river and reach the other side. And then, see, as I've told you, boats and ships are different, and ships sail across the seas, or ships sail on the seas. You have seen that, isn't it? In the poem that we read together, we saw that the ships sail on the seas. We know that seas are bigger water bodies. Rivers are small. And we have very small rivers in Nagaland. There are some big rivers, but majority of our rivers are streams. We call the small rivers as streams, okay? We have a lot of freshwater streams, which are healthy. We know that we want to go fishing in those places, but those are some water bodies that we cannot sail our boats or we cannot sail our ships. So a ship is a very big ship which can carry thousands of people. Have you watched the movie Titanic? We all have seen, I guess, and we see that there is a very big ship, isn't it? A very big ship that sank into the water. Sank means going down into the water. Everything got destroyed. People are dying. There are things thrown out of the ship, thinking that if things are thrown out, it will be easier or it will be lighter and the ship would not sink, but it sank. So this is one ship, okay? These ships are like cities. They can carry so many people. There will be so many people in the ship that you will not even know who you are traveling with, okay? It's so big that imagine the whole village, okay? Imagine that your whole village is traveling in the ship and it's still not full. Why? Because it is very big. Ships are usually very big. And this is also the picture of another ship. And especially in the olden days, people used this kind of ships. It's still there, but in the modern days, people use this kind of ships more than this. And this is what the poet is writing. Boats sail on the rivers, ships sail on the seas, and there is one natural thing that I told you, we read together. I want you to give a guess before we jump on to the next one, okay? So, ships, boat, we have already discussed about those two. What do you want to guess now? Yes, there is one natural thing that is even prettier, okay? We think that boats sailing on the river and ships sailing on the seas are a very beautiful thing to see. I'm pretty sure that you all would want to see a boat sailing next to your house or a ship sailing next to your house. When you think that these are pretty, there is another prettier thing than all of this, okay? Yes, pretty clouds sail across the sky. Boats will be on the rivers, ships will be on the seas and oceans, and pretty clouds. Okay, you know what is a cloud, right? These are pictures of clouds. You all want to look at a beautiful blue sky, and then there will be clouds floating, and you imagine how will it be, isn't it? Here is also another picture of clouds sailing on the skies. So, by looking at these two pictures, what do you imagine? As for me, I used to imagine as if it would be soft like cotton. You know what is a cotton, right? I used to feel that it would be very soft like cotton. When I was young, I used to imagine of that. And I used to wonder, if I sit on those clouds, I feel like it will be very soft. And I'm sure there are many people who are sitting down there right now listening to me and imagine how it would be. Or if you're sitting outside and watching this class or attending this class, I want you to look at the cloud and imagine how it would feel to be sitting on those clouds floating in the sky. Clouds don't come down, right? It used to be like this. So I want you to imagine sitting in one of these clouds. It would be nice. And then the poet makes a comparison of how nature is so beautiful. God has designed everything so beautifully that men, even the so-called beautiful things that men made, cannot overtake this kind of natural beauty. Okay? Let's get on. There are bridges on the rivers, right? There are bridges. You know what is a bridge, right? There are different types of bridges. You will find very long and big bridges across big rivers. You will find small bridges which are very beautiful. People like to take pictures on the bridge, right? This is a big bridge across a big river. You see this, isn't it? And this is a small bridge again. These are really pretty. And you usually get to see this kind of bridges in the parks or even in your village, in the countryside. Countryside means village side, okay? And it is so beautiful that you want to take pictures. You may want to play in the river. You may not have any fish to catch there, but still you want to go and play there with the stones maybe. You just want to play in the river. And so the bridges are really beautiful. Even by looking at the picture, I'm sure you would like to go and sit there and have some time of enjoyment, right? So these are pictures of bridges, different kinds of bridges. And we are going to discuss about one thing here. I'm not going to show you the picture right now. The bow that bridges, okay? You know what is a bow, right? Curve. C is in the shape of a bow, okay? And so the bow that bridges heaven, imagine, is there any kind of bridge between heaven and earth? I'm sure you have never seen a bow that takes you to heaven, isn't it? Overtops the trees, and that bow used to go above the trees. Now I want you to give a guesswork. What will that be? It builds a road from earth to sky. Earth is the place that we live in. We know that earth is our planet. And so there is a bow that builds a road from earth to the sky. So that is the rainbow. Yes, that is the rainbow. And it is prettier far than this. It is prettier than the bridges that men made to beautify or to use it for transport. Okay? But the thing that comes out naturally like the rainbow is the prettiest of all. Okay? See, you see pictures of a rainbow. Here is a picture of a rainbow, and here is also another picture. I'm sure these two children, okay, these two kids are enjoying watching at the rainbow. They might even be wondering of how and where it came from. And I'm just going to add something that is not in your textbook. How many colors does a rainbow have? A rainbow has 7 colors. Okay, now since I've explained, I want you to look at this. You will find this work in page number 23. You can flip your book and go there if you want. There is a filling the blanks question that is for you to do. I'm going to help you with this. Okay, let's read the question together. Read the poem and choose the correct word to fill in the blanks. Now, I did not give you the option because the option is already there in your textbook. I've just written the answer directly. Okay. Boats sail on the rivers, ships sail on the seas, clouds sail across the sky, there are bridges on the rivers. These are the 4 questions that is given for you. You have to thank me because I've solved the question for all of you, okay? And so, with this, we are coming to the end of our class. We should all learn to appreciate nature. Because no matter how much we try to beautify this planet Earth, or no matter how much we try to decorate something, a park, no other thing can overtake the natural beauty. And so is the beauty of a rainbow, which attracts every eye towards it. Which will attract every eyes towards it, right? Because when you see a rainbow, you just don't ignore it and go. You will stand and admire the beauty of the rainbow. And so I'm sure you like this poem written by Christina Rossetti. I want you to also memorize the poem, okay? In your higher classes, you will not be able to memorize all these things. But now this is a very beautiful poem with just few lines. I am going to give you a homework that is for you to memorize the poem that I've taught you today and also understand and learn to not only understanding the poem, but we all should learn to appreciate nature that is around us. Instead of destroying it, instead of spoiling the natural environment, we should all learn to care for nature. And with this, we are going to end our class for today. Thank you so much for listening to me.